Hey guys, this is Pilar and you are watching Divinely Guided. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I am very new to YouTube. I am just recently posting my very first few videos. Being that I am new, what I decided to do is to just start out by doing some of the most basic tarot spreads or most common tarot spreads so that I can learn these spreads. I've done pretty well at learning a lot of the cards. As you see, I have a whole lot of them. These are all my oracle decks. Well, not all of them. I actually have a few more. But anyway, so I'm going to start out by doing a Celtic cross, and this video is for Taurus. All right, so this is going to be your energy forecast for December 2019. And I will walk you through what each positioning of the card means as it comes out and as we jump into this reading, okay? So I have already invited my spirit guides and spirit into my space, and I've invited the archangels into my space. So Spirit, what do you have for Taurus for December 2019? What is the energy forecast for Taurus, December 2019. So I'm not usually one to cut the deck and start pulling them just from the center of the deck. I like to just take the time to allow the energy to work its way through the cards and see what Spirit presents to us as they come flying out. I don't know, to me there's something a little gratifying about watching the cards just flying out. Alright, Spirit, what do you have for Taurus for 2019 December forecast? What do you have for Taurus, Spirit? By the way, I do have some dogs that I just let run around freely for the most part. Hopefully they don't start yelping at something. If they do, I'll probably have to just edit that portion out of the video. Hopefully it won't be too much. Okay, so we have the Death card. Okay. Okay, well. So then we have so if you're not familiar with the Celtic cross, it is 10 cards. Each position does have a separate meaning, but the overall combination of the cards should, hopefully resonate with you. It's not going to resonate with every single Taurus, of course, but they do pretty well at picking up the energy, and they do pretty well at using me as a vessel. It's been a lot of fun. The readings that I've done so far have been very consistent. The personal readings that I have done have been pretty on point. The people who have done them before seem to have really gotten a lot out of them. So if you are interested in a personal reading, I will put my email in the description box below. Also, this is for the Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So if this does not resonate with you, then make sure that you check out your Rising, Moon, and your Venus sign, okay? Let's take this one, looks like. Didn't want to go back in there. Okay, what else, Spirit? I'll also put a link in the description box, which I didn't do on the other videos that I've posted. I'll put a link in there that allows you to figure out what your moon, rising, or your rising moon and Venus signs are. Alright, so that way you can see what other videos you might need to cross watch. Okay, again, if you want a personal reading, please definitely let me know. I'm super excited to do that for you. I will put my email address in the description box below. One more card, Spirit, please. One more card, Spirit. Also, if you are more of a professional in tarot and you have any feedback for me, I'm definitely open to receiving any feedback you have, as long as it's nice, or at least nicely expressed. Positive, or what is it, constructive criticism? Okay. All right, Virgo, let's see what this center means. And for the bottom of the deck, you have strength. Okay. Maybe you're dealing with a Leo, I'm not sure. Let's see what this has to say. Yeah, that was on the bottom. Okay, so the center here is going to be for your current situation. This is good. Card number 1 is going to be for your current situation. Card number 2 is what's challenging, what the challenge is in the situation, okay? So you have the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Swords, a lot of sword energy. So this is air energy. So this is, you know, air usually represents thoughts. Okay. Oh, and you know what, you guys, I didn't tell you. I am using this book to help me to learn these different spreads. These do also have, this book does also have the meaning of each card. It is a very basic book. It just tells you the general meaning. It doesn't tell you the love, you know, money, or financial aspect of things. But I figure that in my experience in learning tarot, that once you understand the meaning of the card, you can pretty much figure out what it means from a financial aspect, a love aspect, and things like that. So anyways, this is the tool that I'm using, and so let's pull this up. All right, we have a lot of sword energy. A lot of sword energy. You're the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is on a quest to fight for the truth and welcomes conflict as an opportunity to get closer to that truth. He is courageous and clever, always ready to defend his ideas and his honor, and always on the move. He's always on the move. He has strong powers of logic and reason, often seeing the world as black and white and acting accordingly. Quick thinking and even impulsive as the courage of his convictions, to the point that he may struggle to let go of an idea when it is proved wrong. So like I said, the swords is, you know, your thought process. Okay. So maybe there's something that you're having an issue letting go of an idea, or you're not willing to be open-minded. You are impulsive with your, you know, with what you think. You act on it very quickly, right? So this is what the Knight of Swords does. He moves forward very quickly. So I'm not sure if you can see that. Okay, so the Knight of Swords. And for the Ten of Swords, this shows the end of a cycle, often illustrated by a figure laying on the ground with all 10 swords in their back. One of the meanings for this card can be having a victim mentality, believing that everything is against you in a rather dramatic way. However, the regeneration of the 10 is also shown with the lightning sky of a new dawn, often shown beyond the figure. There is a need to accept and release the past. So whatever kind of mentality that you're holding on to, be it this victim mentality, maybe you are finally realizing that, or this is actually the challenge. So this is the challenge. So you are quick with your thoughts, right? And you're stuck, and you are quick to react because of your thoughts. But the challenge is that it doesn't seem to necessarily be benefiting you. Okay? You're feeling the need to release the past and to let go of the patterns of thinking that keep you pinned down. So you see the cards, or I'm sorry, the cards. You see in the card that the swords in the back are keeping the guy pinned down. You know, he's pinned down to the ground. All right, so this is a ending, or yeah, this is, you know, things have come full circle with this thought process that you have. And so maybe you're struggling with letting that go. Maybe that's what the challenge is. Okay. So the next card we have is, it's the 3 card, the number 3 card, which is your conscious mind and your higher self. And this is the death card. This is actually the death card. With death comes new life, right? So that's going to be super consistent with the 10 of Swords. So you are coming to terms, you know, with that, with the fact of the way that you think of things is not necessarily working for you, right? And so you're going to be stepping into a new beginning. You're putting that to an end, all right? Which is pretty cool. Good for you. There's nothing wrong with learning to change your thought process and growing, you know? In fact, that's what we're here to do, is always be growing. Okay, so here we have the 8 of Swords. This is your hidden conscious or unconscious influence. So if you look at this, the 8 of Swords is that, you know, you've been holding yourself captive with these thoughts, because you see, she can leave whenever she wants, right? In that 8 of Swords, she's been holding herself captive, even though she's not really, it looks like she's wrapped up in toilet paper, you know what I mean? So it's like she could break free of that. Again, when I say, or not again, but just so you guys know, when I say she, I'm not saying that, you know, that this is a female. I'm saying, you know, there's no energy, or I'm sorry, there's no gender to energy, okay? So if I say she, it's just because, you know, it's what you might be able to, I mean, obviously it looks like a female in you know, the picture, but if you're a gentleman and this resonates with you, then this message is for you. It's energy. So it doesn't mean that, you know, just because it's a female in the picture that it's not for a gentleman, okay? So you are the one keeping yourself hostage in your own head. All right, you can change your thoughts. Okay, you can do that, but this is your hidden, you know, or unconscious influence. So you may not be aware of this, or maybe you're just now starting to realize it because, you know, you already have the death card here. This is your current situation. It's a challenge that you're running into. So this seems to me like this is going to be what, even though it's, you know, your unconscious influence, you're starting to become more aware of it. You're starting to become more conscious of that, which is awesome. Major growth there, Taurus. Super proud of you. Okay. So here we have card number 5. And this is your past, the Page of Pentacles, okay? So the Pentacles is of the earth, right? Material items, okay? So let's see what the Page of Pentacles says. And just so you guys know, I do know a lot of these cards, but there are a lot that, you know, have not come up in my reading, so I'm still learning as I go, so that's why I am looking up some of these cards up. Some of them, you know, I am already aware of what they mean, and you can kind of just see in the card, you know, and it makes you feel what, you know, the message is supposed to be. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles epitomizes lifelong learning, the idea that all of life has something to teach us. And also that learning is not just about the intellect. He is beginning a journey of learning from experience through study, but also through observation, experimentation, and simply doing the work. When the Page of Pentacles appears, it's time to start putting your ideas into practice, beginning with small steps and building your momentum. This page is patient and determined, but also always busy, believing that it is important for both mind and body to be well occupied. Okay, so you just recently started this journey, because this is the card of the past, right? So this is the recent past. So you're just starting this journey of changing your thought process, okay? Which is incredible. Again, that just shows so much growth, okay? So far, December, seems to speak to a whole lot of growth, and you're doing the work on yourself, and, with that, it's going to bring you, the desires of your heart. Okay, so the Three of Swords, again, this could be, relating to a third-party situation, a heartbreak maybe. You see the swords going through there. Okay, but at the same time, the three also represents, establishing new foundations. So maybe, again, maybe you are releasing, this thought process. You're opening yourself up to, new ways of thinking. All right, I just want to read you what this card says. The Three of Swords is one of those cards that many sees as difficult, as most of the image is shown, as most of the images of it show a heart pierced by three swords. It's true that this card can mean painful feelings or a struggle with difficult emotions, but it can also mean releasing old emotional patterns and using our mind and intellect to understand our feelings. Sometimes we allow ourselves to be dominated by feelings which have actually moved on, by fears which we have actually moved on, or by fears which are no longer relevant. Applying the creative thinking, the Three of Swords allows us to see more clearly and to realize that our feelings are simply that, our feelings, a part of us, but not the whole us. Okay? So when this card appears, it's time to acknowledge our feelings and then to let them go. This card can also symbolize bringing thoughts and feelings into creative harmony. So you're trying to find your balance, your harmony, okay? Starting to build a new foundation. Okay? So next we have card number 7. And this is your inner self. This is how you're feeling about the situation. Okay? It looks like it's making you tired, like you need a little bit of rest. You're going through all these emotions, so many mixed emotions, trying to, clear your mind and, figure out what is going to work best for you, and changing your thought process so that it can better serve you. But it takes a lot of work, right? It's exhausting. I know, been there, done that, I promise you. All right, so this card says that the regularity and the structure of the 4 means bringing your thoughts into harmony. Again, you have the 3 and the 4 of Swords talking about bringing your thoughts into harmony. Okay? Clearing your mind of clutter and finding some mental space. You may need some time to process your emotions after the shift of the 3, to practice not taking things personally and finding some objectivity. Taking time out allows us to get a sense of perspective, perhaps to reassess our priorities and make sense of our situation. So this is what I just said that, okay? So it seems to me like, December is going to bring a lot of you changing the way that you think about things and the way that you deal with things in order to allow you to step into a more harmonious lifestyle, right? That's amazing. Good for you, Taurus. Super awesome. All right, so here you have the Magician, card number 8. This is your external influences, right? The Magician, you have everything you need. You see, you have the Cup, you have the Pentacle, you have the Wand, you have the Sword. You also have the Infinity up here. You see the Infinity sign above the head too, which is incredible because we're literally just talking about the mind. Okay, so this is something that is going to be changed. You have everything you need to make this change and for it to be a permanent change in your life, right? So you can manifest all the growth, all the, things that you want to manifest. All right, you have the power to make this change for yourself. Okay, you have the support, you have, you know, everything that you need. This is your external influences. Okay, card number 9 are your hopes and fears, and this is the Chariot in reverse, right? So the Chariot is about movement. So your hopes and fears are maybe not making the right moves, not making the right decision, right? But it's important that you make a decision and see how it goes for you. You know, be true to yourself in how you feel. And make your decision based off of that, not based off of your mind. Don't be so reactive, you know, instantly reactive to your thoughts. Okay, don't make moves based off of that. You want to make moves based off of how you feel, being true to yourself. Okay, so the Chariot in reverse is telling you, don't make moves based off of your current thought process. Okay, your current thought process is what you're working on changing, so why would you act on that? You're trying to make changes to that. So make sure that you're listening to your soul, your heart, your emotions, and let that guide you into what moves you need to be making. Okay? The last card is your final outcome, which is the King of Cups. Cups is water. Water represents your emotions, right? The king is the master of its kind. So what this means is that if you act on your emotions and you take control of your thought process, that you're gonna be able to, you know, step into your power as the King of Cups. Okay, be in control of your emotions. You're going to be in control of your thought process. Let me just read what this King of Cups says, so that way you can kind of get a better idea of what that represents, because that's going to be super important. That's going to be what your outcome is. Everybody wants to know what their outcome is, you know. And just so you guys know, when I say, you know, our outcome or your outcome, you have to understand that you also have free will. So you have the decision to make, you know what I mean, on how you are going to move forward, really, at the end of the day. So even though I tell you that you are going to be, you know, in the King of Cups energy, you know, that's not going to necessarily happen if you don't choose to, right? We all have free will. So it's super important for you to decide if you want to be in the King of Cups energy, okay? The King of Cups is a wise guide and counselor. The King of Cups has a deep understanding of the emotional self and a strong sense of empathy. He has worked hard to gain the mastery of the emotional realm and may put his skills to use as a counselor or advisors for others. All right, so this is saying if you can do this, you'd be amazed how you'll be able to help others to do this as well once you've mastered this art. Okay, he understands and accepts that emotions are complicated, and this can make him detached by choice or otherwise. So also remember, when you're making these changes, you know, there's going to be people who are not going to understand what you're doing, and so they're going to try and say things to you or whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. You have to follow your heart, your instincts, your intuition, and eventually you're going to be able to speak to it and help other people to learn how to do that for themselves, right? I always tell people that with elevation comes separation. So as you're growing, you're not going to be able to take everybody with you. So don't be upset if they don't understand. It's not for them to understand. It's for you to understand. Okay? It says he understands and accepts that emotions are complicated, and this can make him detached by choice or otherwise. He is creative, but maybe more focused on creating frameworks for helping others than on expressing his personal creativity. Okay, so I hope that this information helps you a little bit, Taurus. And, you know, really continue on this path of growth. You are doing a lot of amazing work, and it is going to be very beneficial. Oh, bottom of the deck. It's going to take a lot of strength. All right? So be true to yourself, Taurus. All right, if you guys resonate with this, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let me know if you guys would like a personal reading. Email address is in the description box below. Thanks.